What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the North Shore 9 Postgame Show powered by Primanti Brothers. I'm Jim. With me tonight is Tyler. Tyler, this one, it's 12:05 a.m. and this was a 6:40 start time. So that gives you a little bit of an idea of how this night went. On top of that, the Pirates lose 6-0, but we are here roughly 5 hours and 25 minutes after the first pitch to do this post-game show because we're sickos. And everyone in the comments, you're all sickos as well.
Yeah, I'm way past my bedtime, man. I don't sign up for late night games for a reason. But I survived. I don't know. We got a lot to get to.
We all survived. We all survived this. You know what may have not survived this, though? The Pirates' playoff odds.
Right.
They probably aren't looking too hot after today. So let's talk about this game. But before we do, BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything online sports betting. Right now, you can receive a 50% free bet of up to $250 on your first deposit to bet on anything from the Olympics to baseball to Formula One racing. BetOnline is every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker. Or unwind with one of our over 150 slot games. Head to the website today, get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online, the game starts here.
And the
Where do you want to start
here
with this?
Like 5 hours ago.
Yeah, let's actually start because this is actually like we all knew there was going to be a rain delay at some point tonight. It was pretty clear based off of the radar. It was going to rain, and it was going to rain hard. This game gets underway on time. However, goes into a pretty lengthy delay after the top of the second inning. Now, I don't know if this was by design, but because that happened, there was originally a shorter delay. This is where really the night got just off the rails. The game was supposed to start back up at 8:15. Dylan Cease gets out there, the starting pitcher for the Padres today. He gets out there, warms up, gets ready to go. The entire Padres field is ready to start the game at 8:15. Like warm-ups have all happened. Everyone's gotten loose. The Pirates hitters are all like warming up to start hitting. And all of a sudden, it's like someone just realized, hey, there's like a fourth river here in Pittsburgh, and it's going through the outfield at PNC Park. So they didn't start at 8:15. Apparently, it rained so hard, the dirt from the outfield warning track drained and it ended up clogging the drains. So the field, the water on the warning track couldn't go anywhere. So it was just sitting there. It took the grounds crew another 2 hours basically to get this field ready to go.
Yeah, they were supposed to start at 8:15. By the time they got going, it was 9:40, and it just kind of looked incompetent in general. The fact that everybody was out there ready to go and just not realizing there is a moat in the outfield. And there is a lot of very expensive merchandise in the Major League Baseball players that are being paid a lot of money that can easily get hurt in the river in the outfield. And then we all, you know what, Jim, just to take it a step further, then we also had the half-hour delay after it was cleaned up where nobody could decide if they were going to play or not.
Yeah.
This was ridiculous.
It was. It really was. It was kind of an embarrassment, like for the Pirates, to be honest. Like you're ready to go. Like 8:15, the players are on the field ready to go. And then like why were they ready to go? Why was the start of this game supposed to be 8:15 when there was clearly standing water all throughout the outfield? I don't know, it was just a weird situation. I don't understand what was going on. And what ended up happening is it ended up being a 2 hour and 40-minute rain delay. Um, so Dylan Cease, who was the Padres' best starting pitcher, he was opening up this series. Well, guess what? Dylan Cease got knocked out after one inning, right? That was good news. You're a Pirates fan, and you're like, this is working out all right. Well, yeah, we just had to wait 3 hours, but Dylan Cease isn't in this game anymore.
Yeah, like actually, I made a joke to you guys before the game that like they better start on time because the rain is coming, and you need to get Dylan Cease out of this game. So the Pirates were kind of playing checkers in that manner. It's just that they just threw everything off the board immediately after that, and pretty much were trying to play checkers or chess on a. I screwed all that up. They're playing chess. I don't remember what I said.
You
It's
thought they
after
were playing
midnight. I'm
chess.
really tired.
You thought they were playing chess when in reality, like they were playing backgammon or something
Oh, yeah, I mean, we were playing
on a
solitaire at
chess
that point, man.
board. Yeah, like they weren't even playing the right game. they
I
they were
To be
playing
fair,
Uno.
I don't know if they were playing baseball tonight either.
Yeah, we'll actually get to the actual. Oh gosh,
And
what was
we
that?
apparently don't know how to podcast anymore
Oh,
either. So
God.
tonight was just a rough night all the way around.
Yeah, I don't know why. All of a sudden, my phone, the volume turned on. I've got my phone on the TikTok live so I can see comments, and all of a sudden, the volume just like shot up to 100. My gosh. All right. Okay, so this game finally starts back up, right? Bailey Falter's out after 2 scoreless innings. Dylan Cease is out after 1 scoreless inning. Newly acquired reliever Brian Hoeing comes in for the San Diego Padres, and he just shuts down the Pirates. 3 2/3 scoreless innings. It was terrible. Like the offense, and you mentioned it. It was almost like this team just didn't come to play today. Nobody did. Not only on offense, like no one. There was one extra base hit. It was Rowdy Tellez in the first inning. After that, no one else. No extra base hits after that. But even defensively, I mean, the inning that all of the scoring happened, which was the 5th inning. Jake Woodford, shout out to him. He pitched. I thought he pitched his ass off. But in the 5th inning, let's kind of walk through this inning. It starts off Jackson Merrill. Campusano ground out, 1 out. Jackson Merrill then, a blooper down the first baseline. It would have been a nice play by Rowdy Tellez, but it's still a play that like a first baseman should make. So it glances off of his glove, goes in the corner. Jackson Merrill gets a double. Okay, fine, whatever. It happens. Next batter, Peralta, another bloop, just like right up the middle, and Jared Triolo makes a play on it. He misses it, just whiffs the ball. It goes into center field. So now you've got first and third. Then you have Wade coming up. So I mean, it's 3 straight batters. Wade then bloops one into shallow center. It's got an 83% catch probability for G1 Bay in center field. And for some reason, he's diving for this ball. Because he dives for it, he's nowhere near the ball. The ball's over his head. He sticks his glove up, at least gets a glove on it, but it drops down. So like the inning, there's 4 outs that we just gave them to start the inning, and next thing you know, it's 4-0 Padres, and they really didn't hit a ball over 85 miles an hour.
Yeah, just to start on all that, to mention Jake Woodford, I just really do want to appreciate him because I think with him, you do see a guy that attacks hitters. He looks like mental wise, He's aggressive on the mound. His stuff's just not very good, man. Like, it's just not really major league caliber aside from the sweeper, slider, whatever we want to call it. He's really just not talent-wise a major league pitcher. I love what he's done since they've acquired him. Just he's not a guy you want to have to rely on. He pitched his tail off again today. And yet again, this team continues to not be able to field a damn baseball behind him. Here's where my frustration lies tonight. I don't want to question this team's effort often because I do think a lot of the times this year they've shown a ton of fight. I think what ends up happening is that they just kind of run out of talent at the end of the day. There's not enough talent on this roster, and they go as far as they can until it just gives out on them or they shoot themselves in the foot. I didn't see any fight tonight. I saw zero fight tonight. Chiwambe makes a just god-awful play. Jared Triolo looked like he put the least amount of effort into that blooper as I've ever seen a second baseman make on a blooper. It was so bad that you had to question whether he lost it in the lights and the ball was barely above the pitcher's head. Rowdy Tellez, that's a play that it's shaky, and it's not just that, man. It's at the plate. As soon as they got out of that rain delay, it looked like a team that wanted the umpires to call the game. They just want to go home. We're done now. We just sat around for 2 hours, 40 minutes. We're done. Can we just call it and go home? That's what they looked like to me. They looked done. It looked embarrassing. For a team that was one game over 500 in a wild card hunt right now, coming off 2 heartbreaking losses, you get a very fortunate off day after that, where you should be able to regroup and to put that kind of effort in today. That's where the frustration is for me today.
Well, I think it's just so the Pirates are back to 500 now, 56 and 56. The San Diego Padres are a team that they're competing against the Padres for one of these wild card spots. If they want to sneak into the wild card, the Padres are one of these teams. And you look at the Padres now, they're 62 and 52. The Padres are 10 games over 500. The Pirates are 56 and 56. Like, I'm sorry, these two teams aren't similar.
No.
One is clearly better than the other. And it sucks that it's like the realization's happening now on August 7th. Like I said, the Pirates are still 4 games out of the wild card after today. But you look at these teams that are holding spots right now. Arizona, who just beat the Pirates 4-2 in a 6-game series, basically over the last 2 weeks. You've got Atlanta, who they're not playing well, but they're still 8 games over 500 right now. You look at the Pirates, and again, just back to 500. It's sad because we go back to last week. You go back to last week and the missed opportunities this team had. Like, today was just a loss. Like, the Padres played better than the Pirates today. It's not really a frustrating loss because, like, it was sometimes you lose. There's 162 games in baseball. Sometimes the other team's just better than you. But this just it drives home the frustrating losses from last week. Because if you win those games that you were supposed to win last week, if you go into today at 59 and 52, right, then this loss doesn't hurt you as much. Because, again, every team loses games. So it makes the frustrating losses more frustrating. But I'm with you today. Like, the offense, just there wasn't a good at bat. There wasn't a good at bat to be seen pretty much the entire night. Just unprofessional at bat after unprofessional at bat after unprofessional at bat. At one point, I think it was in the 8th inning, the Pirates did. It was in the 7th inning. The Pirates actually threatened a little bit. IKF singled, Brian Hayes singled, G1 Bay walked to load the bases. Jared Triolo up to bat. Padres bring in Tanner Scott, one of their deadline acquisitions, filthy left-handed pitcher. You kind of stick with Triolo there because, like, who else are you going to bring in? But Jared Triolo and his 553 OPS just completely overmatched. Had no chance in that at bat. Strikes out on 4 pitches.
Yeah, I mean, they're obviously limited on talent, but I guess where I would push back just to touch on you here, Jim, because you said they did lose the game, but at the same time, like they handed the Padres runs. So that's where I'd kind of push back a little bit that I don't know that they just lost this game. They kind of handed it away as well. Obviously, you can't win a game when you don't score a run, but it just everything was just a nightmare tonight from 6:40 to midnight. It was just a horror show.
It was rough. It was a rough game all around. I thought the pitching actually wasn't too bad. Again, Woodford didn't pitch as poorly as his line stated. You know, he ended up finishing 2 1/3 innings, 3 hits, three earned runs. But we talk about those 3 hits, like all 3 of those hits could have been outs, all 3 of them, but they all fell for hits. One issue, and there was a comment in here about Shelton, right? As far as the effort goes tonight, I'm with you. I'm not necessarily going to bash the effort, but they just clearly weren't ready to play today. Like something was off. It was just a non-competitive baseball game, and that happens. What I'm blaming Shelton the most for tonight are just some weird decisions that he made. Like I'm okay with bringing Kyle Nicholas into that spot that he did in the 5th inning because that was a big spot in that game. Like you wanted to make sure you got out of that inning with just giving up the 1 run so that you can stay in this game. So I'm okay with bringing in Nicholas in that spot. What I'm not okay with is once the game's 4-0 and your offense hasn't done anything, like why are you letting Kyle Nicholas throw 48 pitches in a game that you're losing by 4? We talk about the struggles of Colin Holderman and like how, hey, it would be nice to get Colin Holderman back on track, but in low leverage situations. Tonight would have been the perfect opportunity to give Colin Holderman the 7th inning in a 4-0 game. Hey, Colin, go out there, clean inning, no pressure. We're losing by 4. Just go out there, do your thing. Instead, Kyle Nicholas finishes off the 5th. Kyle Nicholas pitches the 6th. Kyle Nicholas pitches the 7th. He's now at 48 pitches. Kyle Nicholas is unavailable tomorrow if you need him. He's probably unavailable on Thursday if you need him as well. And those are games that you've got to win. Like now these are must-win games because we talked about going into this series. Like this was a must-win series for the Pirates. You lose today, you've got to win tomorrow. You got to win Thursday. And now you're going to be without Kyle Nicholas, who is one of the few pitchers out in that bullpen that you rely on to get outs consistently over the last couple of months. So that's my main issue today is like, why is Kyle Nicholas now? Why did you throw Kyle Nicholas almost 50 pitches today so that he's no longer available for the rest of this series? Get Colin Holderman in there, get him an inning, get him some just get his head right, get him seeing the ball go through the hoop, whatever you want to call it. Like this should have been a game where it went Holderman, Stratton, Santana, right, to finish off, not Kyle Nicholas for 50 pitches.
Yeah, Nicholas throwing as many as he did was silly. I mean, Kyle Nicholas threw more pitches than he let Jake Woodford throw. And Woodford was supposed to be a long guy today. So I'm with you on that end. I don't hate bringing in Nicholas when he did. I probably would have preferred to leave Woodford in that situation. He had given up 3 just soft contact balls that should have been outs. I don't really want to sit here and advocate to leave a Jake Woodford in a game, but also at the same time, he wasn't giving up hard contact. And as soon as Kyle Nicholas did, he got lit up. Plain and simple, that first inning, he got lit up. He has been good lately. I'm not going to trash him. I also don't understand why he was in as long as he was. I agree with you on getting Holderman work there. I agree with the Santana part, Stratton part. Yeah, just kind of asleep at the wheel a little bit.
Yeah. It was a rough game. The Padres came to play. The Pirates didn't. Hunter Stratton pitches a scoreless inning. Dennis Santana gives up 2 more runs in the 9th. by that point, the game was over. The Pirates on offense weren't doing anything. So extending the lead from 4-0 to 6-0, it was like, yeah, whatever. Who cares? But yeah, just a pretty pathetic performance offensively. 13 strikeouts today, 1 extra base hit. Just it was terrible. They were bad. They were awful. Brian De La Cruz. I mean, can we talk about him for a little bit?
Yeah.
Like one of the guys that you acquired at the deadline to make this offense better. He's been terrible since being acquired. I feel like he just either strikes out or grounds out to third every single time. And it's been what 5 games or whatever. So I'm not like passing judgment on the guy, but like we have years of data already to show us like Brian De La Cruz isn't really a good baseball player. He can hit the ball over the fence every once in a while, but a brutal few games for him when you bring him in to provide for this offense, and he just hasn't done it.
I mean, he's a guy that if he's not hitting the ball over the wall, truthfully, he's just not a productive baseball player. He does nothing else really well. He brings power to the lineup, and he's not hitting the ball over the wall at this point. It's almost like somebody was tweeting when they were interested in him that like Edward Olivares is the same player, and here we are.
I was against the whole Brian De La Cruz, Edward Olivares thing. I think De La Cruz does have a little bit has a little bit more to offer than Olivares, but so far we haven't seen it. We haven't seen it.
Hey, at the end of the day, I know it's been 5 games, but I can't go into next year with Brian De La Cruz being my starting right fielder.
Well, Tyler, you have 3 more years of control.
Yeah, I can't go into next year with him being my starting right fielder off of 5 games, and then the rest of his career, which I'm throwing into the mix. I don't want him as my starting right fielder next year, and I don't want to talk about next year already, but I am.
Yeah.
IKF though, I've enjoyed watching him. He made a nice play short today. He does have competitive at bats. So
he's
to this
a pro.
point, yeah, it's nice to watch professional at bats.
IKF is a pro, and yeah, out of anybody today, I think he probably had the best game for the Pirates. I mean, he went 1 for 4, but had the hit, had like you mentioned, the really nice play at shortstop. He started 2 double plays, so yeah, I mean, he looks good defensively. He looks like he's a good fit for this lineup. A welcome addition because, like you mentioned, he's actually putting together professional at bats. Brian De La Cruz, we haven't seen it yet. He's just swinging at everything. He hasn't drawn a walk yet. Dude, no extra base hits.
His first at bat was so god awful. He just went up there and swung at junk that wasn't even close.
Now I will say this: a lot of righties have god awful looking at bats against Dylan Cease. He's a really good pitcher.
Yeah.
But yeah, Brian De La Cruz. Oh no, wait, that was against Hoeing. Never mind. That was against Hoeing.
Yeah, that was against a guy with scrap heap.
You shouldn't have bad looking at bats against Brian Hoeing. I love Brian Hoeing, Louisville Cardinal.
There it is. There it is.
But yeah, no, you shouldn't let Brian Hoeing dominate your lineup like he did today.
Yeah, and it wasn't just Brian De La Cruz. It was a lot of guys as well.
I feel like we've done nothing but like
what was
complain and whine all day. But I will say that like it's 12:30. This game started 5 hours ago. It was frustrating. It was frustrating to watch it. Shout out to all of the fans who actually went to this game and stayed. You guys are crazy people. But also Pirates at least doing one good thing right here. If you went to today's game, if you scanned your ticket for today's game, you get 2 free tickets to a game of your choice from now until the rest of the year. Weekday game, Monday through Thursday. That's so cool. Good job, Pirates, for at least making that right, because the whole rain delay situation tonight was a mess, and it was just handled horrifically.
Yeah, it's not like it was just weather. It was field conditions that were totally in their control. So good on them.
Yeah, good on them.
I don't know what to say positive, man. Like, get him tomorrow.
I mean, we can't even really dissect pitching. Like Bailey Falter looked good. He threw 2 innings, but he looked good. again, we talked about Jake Woodford for a little bit. I do want to say that one thing with Jake Woodford that I'm noticing, and you're noticing it too, because we were watching the game, but the sweeper from Jake Woodford, slider, sweeper, whatever he wants to call it, it's a really good pitch. It's a really good pitch. He was getting swings and misses on that. Now, the rest of his pitches, leave a little bit to be desired. But if he's locating it, he was getting a ton of weak contact today. The Padres averaged 76 miles per hour exit velocity against Jake Woodford today, which is nothing. That's barely making contact. So he did have an effective game. I said the 3 runs, not his fault. All 3 hits should have been outs. But the whiffs on the sweeper, he can generate some swings and misses on that pitch if he locates it.
Yeah, it actually is a really good pitch against right-handers. We saw it today. He's able to locate it right off the plate. It's just that nothing else is really terrific. But in general, he's located everything relatively well, and that's why he's getting such weak contact. At the end of the day, I mean, he's giving you some meaningful innings right now, and he's keeping the load off other guys that you don't want to have to throw in these situations. So I do appreciate him.
Yeah. I mean, and they needed the innings today. He was able to do it. And again, Kyle Nicholas throwing 47 pitches to get through his 2 2/3 innings. It's just a shame that you probably don't see him the rest of the series because he pitched in a meaningless 6-0 loss because you needed to get 8 outs and you couldn't use your high leverage guy who's struggling. I think that's my biggest, if taking away from all of this, the Pirates didn't play well tonight, but tonight was the perfect game to get Colin Holderman in, and instead they just wasted Kyle Nicholas for the rest of the series. That's my biggest problem with today.
Yeah, and then if you go into tomorrow, he's coming off 2 off days. If you use him, I don't know how I feel about him going into tomorrow. If we would have saw him today, I might feel a little better. I might feel worse, or that, all right, maybe we're going to reel it in with him a little bit. It's just more unknown. I'm with you. I don't love the decision.
Yeah. You got anything else to add?
It's 12:31. I'm done.
Yeah, let's get out of here. Thank you all for staying up late. Chat was bumping. Like I said, it's 12:30. You guys are awesome. Appreciate everybody live in the chat on YouTube. Appreciate everybody if you're watching on TikTok, Facebook, Twitter. Like we're live everywhere. So appreciate all you guys. If you're watching this after the fact, when you wake up tomorrow, appreciate you guys as well. If you're listening on the podcast, you guys rock. That's all I got. Like the video, subscribe to the page if you haven't already. Pirates are back at it tomorrow. It is a 6:40 game. It's actually a nationally televised game on
Fingers
Fox
crossed.
Sports 1. So tomorrow, FS1 carrying the game. It's going to be Michael King, who's pitching really well for the Padres against Marco Gonzalez. So, a must-win game. Must-win game for the Pirates, and you've got Marco Gonzalez on the mound.
Yeah, you need the good Marco.
Yep, need him to come through tomorrow. But hopefully we'll be giving away sandwiches tomorrow on the post-game show. Again, I appreciate all of you guys. You rock. That's all. That's all we got for today.
Thanks,
we'll see
guys.
you tomorrow.
Peace out, Girl Scouts.
See you guys.
Hey, you all. Thank you for watching. I know we try to provide the most entertaining content that we can, and we'd love to spread it to as many people as possible. So I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but if you could take the 5 seconds to like this video and subscribe to the page, it helps out so much more than you know. Thank you, and let's go Bucks.